Hello guys, I hope that all of you can hear me well, and we would begin this lecture. We'll just wait for like a couple of more minutes, and then we'll begin the session. Right. In the meantime, I'll just do a little bit of inspect element coding. Display none. Right. Good evening. So guys, can you please tell me if you can hear me or not, and then we'll begin the session. Right. So I hope that all of you can hear me. Can you please tell me if you can hear me or not? And we'll begin the session there. Okay. So we'll just wait. Yeah. So we'll just wait for a couple of seconds, and for everyone to join. Let me just also ask my team to update it at our channel. Okay. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, you could ask me on the chat, and I would look and I would answer the same. I'm just waiting for most of the students. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Uh, Perfect. So what we are going to do in this particular section is we'll be having obviously we'll learn a few concepts of DSA today, and first we will understand why DSA is important for placements. Even for non-CSIT student, it has become very, very, very important by this year. And the language that you should use generally to use DSA, which I prefer more and which the industry prefers more. And we'll talk about the course launch of DSA that we have. So we are launching a new course on DSA, the link to which can be found in the description below. So today is like a discounted offer, which is huge. In fact, at the end of the video, you'll see we are just giving it for pennies, right? So make sure that you subscribe. First of all, make sure that all of you who are watching, make sure that you have subscribed to our YouTube channel. The reason being, obviously, I'm taking the first DSA videos. There would be a few DSA videos probably next week or next week, so on and so forth. Most probably this Sunday, there would be a YouTube session on resume building workshop. And then there would be an interview preparation masterclass and one more session on pointers for DSA. Then we'll also have one more session for competitive programming, and then obviously long throughout your placement journey, we would be having specific master classes, company specific master classes conducted by various teachers. Right. So let me tell you about me. I'm the founder of Prepinsta, and we started Prepinsta about 3-4 years ago. And I was placed in 8 different companies, paying more than in which 2 of them paid more than 10 lakh rupees and so on and so forth. And then I quit my job at a very reputed organization, at a very reputed startup, and then started Prepinsta. So you should know a little bit about me before I start teaching, right? One more thing, make sure that all of you have subscribed or joined at least our Telegram, Instagram, WhatsApp, and LinkedIn, because it would be really hard this time to get jobs, and it is very, very important to get to know about jobs. And as we expect that till December, no colleges will open, so all the hiring will happen from your home. Which is why if you miss a particular hiring of, let's say, Deloitte, or there was an Amazon hiring just a few days ago, which a lot of students missed. So make sure that you follow on us on our social media handles. We always post all the off-campus drives there, and a few referral drives that are in partnership with Prepinsta. Along with that, basic things about placement strategy and etc. Right. Uh, Kirti Jyoti Senapati is saying Python is the programming language of the future. Yes. However, little disagreement there. Okay. So I will be teaching you DSA. Don't you worry. This session would be about DSA. We will learn DSA. We will also do a coding in DSA. Right. But first, for non-CSIT people, I just want to explain them why DSA is important for all of you. There would be very, very, very less hiring for this year, and thus the number of people who are applying would be more, and the number of people and the number of jobs would be lesser. So this is why it has become like a competitive market wherein survival of the fittest is there, right? Which is why or that is the most knowledgeable person, right? This is the worst recession in the last 100 years. There was Great Depression in 1929. Even this is bigger than that. The economy of India and all over the world is going to contract. So negative growth rate was there. Earlier it was 7%, 8%. This time it's going to be negative, right? Only IT companies are expected to hire. The reason being, Maruti Suzuki, Mahindra, and all of these automobile companies registered zero sale in the last 2 months. And in the coming few months, also, even my co-founder Ashay was supposed to buy a car, and now he's not buying the car at all. So obviously, people are not buying cars. They don't have revenue. A lot of companies of them have shed a lot of their employees. So IT companies are expected to hire. So if you're mechanical student, then IT companies is the way for you. Also, people are not buying gadgets. People not, government is not spending on projects, which is why electrical companies, Triple E, all of them, even chemical and civil companies are impacted, right? The next thing is DSA is very, very important because whenever, even in our Royal Pass, so we have something called as Royal Pass in Prepinsta, which is like a complete preparation course, teaches you DSA, C++, all the online classes for all the companies, Python, etc. So we'll talk about more about that in the video. Even in that, I don't teach coding. I directly go with data structure. The reason being, I particularly feel that if I teach you concepts like Fibonacci series or palindrome of a number, there's no use. Why should I waste time for that? If we quickly go ahead with DSA, you will learn much more important coding concepts and your coding brain will evolve. So coding is like mathematics. If you practice difficult questions, obviously easy questions you will be able to do, right? Most of the companies right now are asking DSA, TCS, NQT ask DSA. Even last time they asked questions about graphs and postfix, infix, prefix, post order, pre-order, all of those. And mechanical students were giving the exam, right? So which is why I'd say so. What happens if you ignore DSA and just do basic coding? I'll say the worst possible enemy of any person is himself or his own ego or ability to not to change himself. If you're not changing yourself, if you're not learning more, one harm that you're doing for anybody is yourself, right? So make sure that you learn well, right? The next thing is, a lot of you would disagree, and I'm really glad, and I'll be looking on the chat window on the left hand side, on the right hand side of mine very closely. I particularly think that Python, you should learn Python, right? You should learn Python to make your projects, to work in artificial intelligence, machine learning, everything. However, you should learn. I'm not saying Python is bad. Python is better. It's the language of the future, as somebody suggested just recently. However, I particularly say and believe is that all the coding, competitive coding, all the data structures coding, everything should be done in C, right? And then you go ahead and make applications in Python, because you will be a better coder if you know the coding logic, right? So always I do this in the interview. I always ask that which language do you know, right? Then they say Python. Then I ask them, do you know C? They already know C. All the people who know Python know C. It's not like I know Python but I don't know C. Then I particularly tell them that, okay, show your projects in Python if you have any. However, for this question, I want the coding to be done in C. The reason being, I want to see how he's able to work with pointers. I want to see how he's able to not to use dictionaries in Python and then use linked list or arrays properly, right? So you will learn proper coding if you code in C, right? C++ is also good, I'll say. It solves a little problem with a few things. However, I'll say if you know C, then you can also do in C++. So you learn in C, and then same concept you can do in any language. So which is why I say, if you are starting with data structures, start with C. If you want to learn Python, you complete C and C++ and data structures in C. Then you learn Python additionally for your project. So even my younger brother, who's in final year in the same college that I was, he's joined a 50,000 rupees course for artificial intelligence and machine learning in Python. So he's using NumPy and all of those cool things that he talks to me about. However, he codes in C. Right. Okay. So this is like a meme that I created. So personally, I think like that. The coding logic is via C. So you are in PUBG, you are like an ace player. So if you are an ace programmer, if you do basic competitive coding in C or Java, I'll also say Java competitive coding could be done in Java. However, data structure should be done in C, right? If you do in Python, then you are a noob according to me. However, Python is a very, very good language, right? Now, how do you prepare for DSA, right? The first thing is, and I'm really sorry, there are a few websites that I really, really, really respect. Uh, and one of those websites is, Geeks for Geeks, right? However, when we were creating our data structures course and pages on Prep Insta, we realized that 60% of the pages on most websites are incorrect. In fact, polymorphism whole concept is taught wrong on all the websites, and then they think that okay, if they are teaching polymorphism, uh, in that case, even teachers are teaching you wrong because it's given freely on the internet, right? So which is why I recommend you that okay, we, because our website, our codes are made by teachers who are PhD and MTech people, right? And these are very sharp people. These guys know what is wrong and what is right, and most on the internet you'll think that it is correct, but it is, they're teaching you the wrong concept. So just like in polymorphism, they are confusing runtime polymorphism with virtual functions, and this is what we were discussing today morning, so I just remember. So you can go to PrepInsta. This is the URL, that is prepinsta.com/data structures. You could go, you could just go to this page and you would find all the important things also, because our website is mostly used by people preparing for service-based companies. So we've segmented it properly on what you should do if you're aiming for service-based companies, and what you should do if you're aiming for product-based companies, right? And most of the times we also share a few memes. So if you could, if I'll just demo you a few pages. So we always try that we make the learning of students a little fun. So maybe if I open some random pages on our website, you'd see some memes that we generally post onto our website, right? So memes like this, so it makes your learning a little easier if you're able to relate with it. uh, and like this is Drake, linear cues and circular cues, all of that. So we try to gamify learning a lot for you. uh, so there's some okay, let's quit it. Okay, so I've just demonstrated the same to you. Let's go back to our slide. I think in the next slide. Okay, so what are we going to learn today? We are going to learn. So I wanted to take, initially a lot of suggestions came for searching and sorting. However, my point was, if I teach you searching and sorting, in that case I'll have to start with linear search and bubble sort, which is very easy. And you'll feel, people who are already good would feel okay, the first 30 minutes of the session are pretty boring. And when I would start with quick sort and merge sort and all of that, then you would feel interested, right? However, I wanted to take up a session which would be interesting for you, and very importantly for TCS NQT preparation. So infix, postfix, and prefix, every time for the last 5 years, this question was asked. Conversion question was asked from infix, postfix, prefix. One question was asked always from stacks. So which is why for TCS NQT specifically, I wanted that okay, people would be able to prepare, just a few bits, right? So let's start with the coding. And not the coding, let's start with the lecture. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, I'll just wait for like 30 seconds and I'll take up questions from the chat. RCN's DSA sufficient to get 3.5 lakh package. I'll say C++ also include, and all of that. Why was this in my recommendations? Python and data structures algorithm is there. Yeah, it's a very good website, Lavanya. I'm not saying, but however, some things are incorrect. That's what I'm saying. Because mostly these websites are made by interns. So if somebody gives you 5,000 rupees a month and then they ask you to create pages on data structures, you'll obviously be making mistakes, right? Okay, so let's start with the coding here. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so what are stacks and why do we need stacks? So the reason why stacks are used, so let me just give you an example. So let's say you have a expression like x is equals to 4x into or in fact, let's say 5 into 3 plus 4, or let's say 1 plus 2 into something something something, or and then power 5, right? So obviously the compiler, what the compiler does is compiler generally reads from left to right, right? In this case, what essentially happens, since it has read 1 and then it has read plus, it has read 5, it would be more efficient for the compiler that, okay, if it was possible, let's say I will do this operation and then do 6 into 3 later, right? Because in this case only two memory, in fact three memories are required. One is for operator 1, that is 1. One is for operator 2, that is 5. And one is for your operand, that is plus. However, in the case, obviously operator precedence comes into the picture. Obviously you are supposed to do 5 into 3 first. The compiler does not know that. So what it will do, it will create a separate memory for 1, it will create a separate memory for plus, it will create separate memory for 5, and so on and so forth for each operand operation, operand operator, until unless till it has read the whole thing. It will keep on creating so many memories. And in fact, if there are 100 such identifiers, in that case 100 such memories would be created, right? So this is a lot of wastage of memory, right? You could also always use only 3 memory and then do operation, and then get the value and then do operation next. So which is why there was a concept brought in, was postfix and prefix, right? And with this, the compiler can read from left to right or right to left. And don't worry, you will learn more about it. I'm just giving you a little introduction, right? And directly store all the values, directly not store all the values. And as soon as it sees operator, that is A, B, and plus, as soon as it sees this pair, it can calculate the value. Let's say X is the value, and then probably it has C divide later, then this value, then two operators, right? So it is just easier for the program. So which is why stacks concept was brought in, right? So that the compiler does not have to care about operator precedence at all. So we'll learn more about prefix, postfix later. So these type of operations are done via stack. So now let us learn what stack is. So stack is kind of a data structure. So stack is also a data structure, which is generally a extension of arrays. Right. So what are arrays? Arrays are that obviously you would have a 1, 2, 3, 4. So you would have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you want, I can directly say a of 4, that I want to access a of 4 directly, or I could say a of 2 directly, right? So I can access just with the index. However, stacks are an extension of data of arrays. However, you can't access them directly. So stack is a top-down data structure, which is, it's like a bucket. So you imagine like a bucket like this. So initially the bucket is empty, right? Now let us say I have a few numbers like 5, 10, 15, and 20 and 25. So these are the numbers that I want to probably store in the stack for some reason, right? So what I will do is I will insert this first number into the stack at the bottom, right? Now I will also insert the next number, that is 10. Then I will insert the third number, that is 15. Then I will insert the next number, that is 20. So it's like that you are pouring marbles in the bucket, or right. So one marble is on the top of the other marble, and then finally 25, right? So this is how you insert in a stack. However, for stack there is a variable called as top. So you do not have indexes like a of 0, 1, 2, 3. The stack always maintain that, okay, obviously if you look in the bucket from the top, right, what will you see? You will only see the topmost element, that is 25, right? So what the stack does is it keeps the index. So these are index 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the top variable, the 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the top value in this case would be 4. Right. Now, if let's say I want to remove something from the stack, so what will I do is I will decrement the top value, that is top minus minus, right? And then this 25 will come outside, and then what would be the top position? It would be 20, right? So if I am able, if I am to say that what kind of data structure or what kind of arrangement is there in stack, right? So let's say if I am putting it 5, 10, 15, and 20, right? So what was the first element that was put inside the stack? It was 5. So what was the first element? First in was 5, right? If I am to push out or pop out something from the stack or remove something from the stack, first 20 will get removed, then 15 will get removed, then 10 will get removed, then 5 will get removed. So 5 came the last. So the element that we have entered the first time comes out the last, which is why we call stack as a FIFO type of data structures. Sorry, not FIFO. Last in, sorry. Can you please tell me? People are saying first in, first out. People are saying first in, first out. Why? Even you guys confused me with your chat, right? First in, last out. Stack is PLO. Or I can also say the opposite thing, that I entered, let's say I entered 25 the last time, right? So the last entered is 25 and the first one to come out would be 25. So it would be last in, first out, right? So first in, last out, and last in, first out. So either philo or LIFO. Now there was one question in emphasis exam also, and one hacker rank exam also, and TCS NQT 2017 also, that a stack is which kind of data structure. So you had 4 options: philo, LIFO. There was one thing more, and then there was both option A and B. Now a lot of students made mistake that they either knew about LIFO or they knew about philo, right? So always read the options carefully, right? So both philo and LIFO is the thing, right? So now a few more things that I want to tell you is, when you insert something in the stack, so you say that I am pushing it. So you have a nomenclature called as push. When you remove something from the stack, so you have a nomenclature called as pop. Similarly, then you also have a variable called as top, which maintains that this is the topmost element. Then I remove this 25, then top minus minus will happen. So top value will get removed from 4 to 3. So this will be the top. So you have one more thing called as top. Apart from that, there are 2 functions that we always check. Just give me, or in fact, I'll just show you here only. There are 2 functions. One function is called is full. So with that, you check that if my stack is full or not. And then you have one more thing is called as is empty. Then you have one more thing called as size of the stack or the array, right? So there are a few nomenclatures: is full, is empty, size, push, pop, and top. And there is one thing called as peak. So what does peak means? Peak is basically, if I call a function called as peak, it will give me whatever value is at the topmost position. So it will give me 25. So all of these things are there in the stack, right? So yeah, live video would be uploaded. Okay. So if you have any questions, what I would do is, should we go ahead with the coding? Can we go ahead with the coding of the same? Right. So if you tell me, we'll just start with the coding of this. Okay. So just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'll just log in here. One of the person is bothering me a lot in the chat. Okay. So let's go ahead with the coding of the same. So now, since I've told you, so there are also one more thing that I want to tell you here is, before we start with the coding is, Generally, I'm taking this as a very easy lecture, so which is why I will be implementing purely with arrays. I will be implementing purely with arrays, right? However, it would be a little wrong to implement just with arrays. You should use struct. The reason why I'm not using struct is because I wanted to take a lecture on pointers first and then struct, because in struct we will be using malloc, calloc, pointers and all of these things. So which is why I'm avoiding that, and we are just doing the basic coding for the same, right? So let's begin with the coding of this particular program, right? So first, the first thing that I'll do is include stdio.h. Then the first thing that I want to do here is I want to define using a macro. So define size of the stack, that is 5, right? So we don't use semicolon here, right? The next thing, obviously I want to do is, so this is the size of the stack that I have. Okay. The next thing I want to do here is I want to create my stack with an array. So I could say array of size either, or I can name this array as stack, right, as you would want, right? And then you could have a top variable, right? And then the top of the variable could be initialized by -1 here, or you could do that in your main program also, right? So these are the two variables that you would be having, right? So just give me 1 second. I'll just look onto the chat. Where is the chat? So here we have the chat. Perfect. Okay, so I can see the chat here. Don't worry, guy. He will explain. Peak tells where the top is. Please zoom the screen. Where what is happening in my screen? Let me just check. Okay, so maybe I can try zooming it now. Yeah. So I have zoomed the screen that I have here. Okay. So now what I would do is I would create my main function. So in the main function, I want to create an interface for the user so that he can do a lot of things. So I will explain as I go further. So first of all, I'm creating something called as num, and then int option also 0, and you will understand. And then you could also do top is equals to -1 here also. It is up to you. Since I've done it above, so I will not do the same here. Okay. So now I will create a while loop, while 1. And in this case, I will create an interface. So printf \n, and I'll say 1, enter 1 if you want to push, right? And then again \n, enter 2 if you want to pop, right, from the stack, right? And then again \n, and enter 3 if you want to display the stack, right? And then finally \n, enter 4 if you want to exit from the loop, right? So maybe a lot of you would have seen this kind of interface already in your coding time. So enter your choice, and finally this, and then I'm just scanf where %d comma ampersand option, right? So I'm storing the value in option. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a switch statement, right? So switch option, right? So let's say if I entered 1, or in fact let me first create it. I hope that most of you would know switch cases. So let's say case 1 is printf enter the value to be pushed in this stack, and \n, or in fact not, maybe \n. Okay. And scanf, and let's say instead of num we will use value, so val. Okay. So %d comma ampersand val, right? Now I will create the function called as push. So I will push uh, stack comma my value, so val. Okay. Then I will use my break statement, so break. Then again in case 2, so this is my interface. As of now, we've not started the coding, right? So here I will call my function called, which I will create a little later. So pop stack, right? Then break case 3. We'll do the same thing. So display. display stack. Right. You could also do one more thing. You may not you may not pass on this stack function here, but I'm just doing it safe side. So what if we had two stack, let's say stack 2, right? So I want to specify that which stack do I want to do insertion or pushing or popping in. So which is why safe side, I'm just creating a dynamic program for you, right? Since we have made it global, we can access it, but I'm just telling the program that, okay, this stack, right? So break, and case 4 would be exit 0, right? So in some cases, exit does not work. So we'll see if in this browser exit works or not. So we'll use stdlib.h here, right? And then finally break and default. So can you please tell me, if let's say I did not use break, so what would be the problem in the chat? So let's say if I removed all the break statements. So this is like a good question that is asked in most of the exams. So default printf, enter a correct option, \n, and then finally break statement. Right. So hopefully we've just created the whole program properly. Yes. Let me just, yeah, pop is removed. Okay. So I have already zoomed the screen, right? For all of you. Maybe this helps a little more. Okay, so now let's start with creating all of the functions that we have. All right, so first of all, what I will do is I will create a function called as push. So push is void push, right? So first int stack, the array that we are passing, and int num, or let's say, let's call it val here, or maybe we can call it num here because I named it as val there. Okay. So now first thing that we want to do in this session or in this is, obviously if we are pushing, right, and let us say the size of the stack is 3, right? If already I am having 3 elements in the stack, like 1, 2, 3, right? So in this case, what would happen is you will not be able to push. So this type of condition is called as overflow condition. Or similarly, we can say that, okay, we cannot enter anything in the stack is full, right? So before pushing, the first thing that we need to do is we want to check that if the stack is full, right? So what we'll do is if top equal to size minus 1, right? Why size minus 1 is, obviously what would be my top element? 0, 1, 2, because obviously we are representing it by array A of 0 and array A of 1, so on and so forth. So my top would be 2 here, right? However, my size is 3, right? So size minus 1 will become 2. And if top is equals to 2, in that case, the stack is full, right? So in this case, obviously, then we'll say that printf \n, I'll just say overflow condition. Okay, we could also say can't enter. Okay, and \n. Okay, and I'll just simply say return. So once I do return here, obviously the control of the statement would go back to this break, and then will come out of the loop, right? So if this condition is not true, so when I want to push, the first thing, so let's say, in fact, let me just go back and zoom in here. So let's say there are no elements here. So initially, what we do is we initialize the top as equal to -1. The reason why we do this -1 is, maybe a lot of you can type it in the chat, is we can't say it's 0, because if we say 0 and if our program tries to access A of 0 elements, it will give some garbage value. And it will mean that, okay, we have at least one element in the stack. But if we say -1, then our program would give error, right? So it is better to have error than to have unexpected things happening in the program. Obviously, error you can fix, but bugs is something that you will not be, it will take very, very long for you to realize, right? So first we do is, initially the top of the stack is -1. So we do top plus plus. Even if there is one element, then the top is 0. So we'll do top plus plus, then the top value will get incremented to 1, right? So now we'll do, first thing that we'll do is we'll do top plus plus. So now what has happened? Now the new top value has gotten incremented by 1. Right. Now what we do here is we push on the stack of top. So initially, let's say initially the top was -1. Right. Once we did top plus plus, what happened? Top value went to 0. Right. And I'll just write this statement here. So we are saying it as num. Right. So now what happens? We are saying a of 0 is equals to value. Let's say value that we wanted to pass was 5, right? So we are saying a of 0 is 5. Let's say next time again when we are saying push function, so next time the value of the top was 0, so now it will get incremented to 1. Okay, now a of 1, obviously we would have passed on some value for num, so it would be, let's say, 10. So on and so forth, it will keep on doing push until we come to overflow condition. All right, so let me just remove all of this bit from here. Right. So this is a push function, right? One more thing is what you can do is, which I'm not doing in this program, is I can also create a function called as isFull, right? IsFull, and it will just do the same thing in this and will return 0 or 1. So I can directly say is full, right? So maybe something to think about for all of you guys. Right. Now, moving further, let us create the function for void pop. And in this case, int star stack. Something to think about for all of you. I have used this here. However, this time I have used this here. And also on a lot of websites, it is given like this. I have not written like this. I have written like this. So all of these things, when do we write like this? Or when do we write like this? All of these things we teach in our data structures course. So again, or obviously if I write like this, I'll have to remove this bit here, right? So the program would just work fine. To avoid confusion for all of those people who don't know pointers, I'll just write simply stack here, right? Now, one thing is I'll create int temp here and you will understand why I'm creating int temp here. Now, the first thing that I want to do here is obviously I can't pop out from the stack if my stack is empty. How will you pop from a stack if your stack is empty? So the first thing that I would need to do is uh, that I need to create a function for or create an interface for checking if the stack is empty or not, right? So what we'll do is if top equal to -1, right? Obviously the stack would be empty only if the initial conditions are met, right? So if it is true, then we'll just simply say printf. And this type of condition is called as underflow condition. /n/, we'll just, so these backslashes we'll just take care once we run the program, right? Now I'll just say return so that interface passes to the main function if this condition is true. Now what I will do is, first of all, this temp, I will say temp is equals to stack of top, right? And then I will do top minus minus and I will explain it. Then I'll say printf the element or item has been popped, the item or let's say, percentage d has been popped \n comma temp. Now what is the reason why I created this temp here? Because obviously if I could also say that stack of top, right? And in this case I will have to write before this top minus minus position, right? Because obviously then it will not print the exact same number. So which is I'm just creating the temporary variable to store the value there, right? So I'll just create temp so that once we delete it, we can access the variable using a temporary memory that we have created, right? So percentage d has been popped, and obviously let's say \n here, and then we could also say nothing or we can just say return. Right, so let me just check the chat once to ask for your questions. Okay, please take daily classes. Daily classes we can't take. I'm really sorry about that. Okay, so now the last interface that we want to create is obviously we have done with we are done. So display. Okay, so void display. In this case, obviously int of, let me use int star stack here. Okay. In this case, what I'll do is I'll first create int I is equals to 0. So this is for a for loop that I will be using. Right. And then if, so first of all, we can't print anything if the stack is empty. So if uh, top equal to -1, right? So in this case, what happens here is if top equal to -1, we'll say printf, nothing to print. The stack is empty, \n. Right. Moving further, we'll just say return. Obviously, we can't print anything, so why go to the for loop? Right. So now, what we'll do? Printf. So first of all, we'll say okay, %d is the top of the stack, and we'll say stack of top. Just want to tell the user. You can also create a void peak function, and that says just this. Right. I'm not creating it, but I'm just letting you know for the people who are asking. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll just create a for loop. So for I, so obviously when you want to print the stack, you will not print from bottom up. So you will not print like A0, then A1, then A2, then A3, then A4. You will rather print from top to bottom, right? So A of top will get printed, then A of, let's say 5 will get printed, A of 4, then A of 3, then A of 2, then A of 0, then A of 1. So which is why I will be using a negative for loop, that is with minus value. So I is equals to top, and do this until unless I is greater or equal to 0, and then I minus, right? In this case, sir, please learn recursion. Should I implement it using recursion, Sachin? In that case, it will be difficult for you. So I am using online GDB. This is the same compiler that has given its software to TCS. So which is why for the people, because a lot of times Python program that you are writing does not work in TCS because of 2.7, 3.0 and all of those, which is why we generally use the same compiler which works for most of those companies. These API have been given by this company to TCS, to AMCAT, and to CoCubes, which is why we use this. Okay. So now we'll just say printf %d, comma, stack of I. Right. And then finally we'll just say printf and \n. Right. So hopefully I've not made any mistakes. If you can tell me on the chat if I've made any mistakes, like rather than using equal to, I use equal to, or things like that. Please let me know. Okay. No mistakes. Right. Minor mistakes are there. That is basically that I should not have given this interface, no empty space after this interface. So let's say I want to push first. So I will enter my, okay. So let me just fix all of these minor errors. In fact, these are not errors also, just to make our code look beautiful. That's the only reason. And enter your choice and then this. So let us run the program again. Okay, so enter your choice. I'll say 1. Enter the value that I want to insert in the stack. Let's say 10. Okay, then it will again ask me that enter the choice. Let's say 1. I want to enter 20. Okay, enter your choice. Let's say 1. I want to enter 30. And enter your choice. Let's say 1. And I want to enter 40. Okay, now one last element I'll be entering, that is 50. Now I will be popping. So I enter 2, pop is 2, and then enter. Okay, so it says 50 has been popped. Now the reason why 50 has been popped is obviously very basic. I don't think that I need to explain this. Is because we entered 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So the top of the stack is 50. Obviously, we pop from the top. And then finally, let's say I want to display. Okay, so I'll enter 3 is display. So it says 40 is the top of the stack, and then the stack is 40, 30, 20, 10. Right? So all of these are the top, all of these are our stack values. Let's say I just keep on popping, pop, 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 again pop. So 10 has been popped. So the 10 is the last element, right? Now I pop again. So now it is saying underflow condition. Why it is saying underflow condition? There is nothing to pop. Again, if I, what is the size? Size is 5. If I try to push 6 times, then it will say overflow condition, right? Let us, I'll enter 4 to exit. Okay. So this is basic stacks program. However, I want to tell you a few things is this would not be the correct way of implementing this. Not actually how I would be expecting. First of all, I would want to use recursion here. I'm not doing that in this lecture because it will be too advanced, because I want to make this session for mechanical EEE EC people. So let's say the correct way of implementing this would be, so this is the jugaad way that we call in Hindi, right? The correct way of implementing this would be using struct. This. So, and then, using dynamic memory allocation, using proper is full functions and all of those. So in fact, I personally have made all of those videos in the lecture of our DSA course that we are launching after this video, right? So you can check them out in the video if you can. So personally, I have implemented in our lecture using this, right? And in fact, these easier ways are also given on the page itself. Right, so you could find it on Prep Insta website. Go to DSA page, whichever thing that you want to learn, you can go ahead with it. Right now, okay. So let me just check a few comments on the website. Okay, perfect. So should we move ahead to postfix, prefix, and infix? These are like if I move just a little ahead. So why postfix, prefix, infix are important? So we'll not do coding, we'll do mathematical things a lot in postfix, prefix, and infix. Every time when you give HackerRank exam. So just recently there was one HackerRank exam for Cerner and Amazon, and Hack with Infi was with HackerEarth. If there are MCQ questions and then they are asking DSA, there will be one question that if they will give you some infix statement and then they will ask postfix for it, and you will be doing it incorrectly. Why? 80% of this time you convert this to this, you will write the wrong answer. I will tell you in the next 10 minutes, you will understand that why 80% of the time our infix to postfix answer is incorrect, and whatever they teach in college also, it's incorrect. And you don't need any coding knowledge to understand what infix, postfix, prefix is, right? So if I'm to begin, what is infix, right? Infix is, let's say, a simple statement like A plus B, right? Simple, right? So infix are our basic mathematical functions of how we implement things, right? What postfix is so these are called operators, and these are called as operands. Sorry, operands and operators. So when we shift our this plus here, it becomes AB plus. So this is called as postfix notation. That is your whatever argument, plus, minus, multiply, operand that you are using, operator that you are using, comes after the operands, right? Similarly, this A plus B could be written in the format of plus AB. So this is called prefix. All right. So now let us say I want to do it for a complicated problem. Like A plus B into C plus D. Right. This is my infix. Now, there is one jugadu way or easier way, which gives you, I'll say 75% of the time, it will give you the right answer. And if even though brackets are missing, but 25% it will give you wrong answer, right? So I'll teach you first the method which is easier. In fact, I can find it in 2 seconds. And I'll show you that, right? In fact, if I'm to write the postfix of this is ABC star plus D plus. ABC multiply plus D plus. 2 seconds. Right. So I'll tell you what to do is you apply basic operator precedence and put on bracket. So bracket. Then the next bracket that you're going to put is here. Then the next bracket that you're going to put is here. Then come to the bracket that is the innermost bracket and then solve this. So what would be the postfix expression for B star C? Yeah, it's very difficult to solve the question of hacker rank. In fact, I'm going to give you a very, very difficult problem after this. Right? It is BC star. Right? Now, assume that this BC star is something called as X. Right? So, the next operation becomes, so I'll say X is equals to BC star. In fact, I don't even need to do this, but for triple E people, mechanical people, all of those, I'm just helping you understand. Okay, so it becomes A plus X, right? And then you have plus D here. Then the innermost bracket is this. So again, you do the same thing. So what would be the postfix for this? X is equals to, sorry, let's say we call it as Y. Y is equals to AX plus. Right. So I write AX plus and then I write Y plus D. Right. And finally it would be Y D plus. And then you substitute all the values, you will be getting Y value is, you will be getting A, B, C, star plus D plus. So this is like a stupid way of solving this. Well, not like stupid way. This is like a baby way of, how I would tell it to a baby, right? How I would tell it to our computer science folks would be A plus B into, sorry, just let me just remove this. A plus B into C plus D, right? So how computer science people should be solving this? They should be writing BC star and then A plus and then D plus. That's it. That's it. It took me 2 seconds. And that too also to write it. If I am calculating it manually, I can do it easily. So what I did is first I calculated this, wrote this. Then I assumed that, okay, this whole variable and this I am assuming. So this plus, not this whole variable I'm assuming. So this plus will come after this. Right. So again, if I want to calculate prefix, so in prefix, A plus B becomes plus AB. Right. So I'll just do very, very easily. The same thing here is I'll write star BC, then I'll write A, then I'll write plus, then I'll write D plus. So this would be my prefix. Right. Now, so this is basic way. I should not be even teaching you this, considering that computer science people are, non-computer science people are there. So which is why I'm teaching. But this will give you wrong answers if your brackets are missing. So now let me give you an example. Right. So let's say A, or in fact, let me move to the next slide. Let me write it here. A plus B into C by D minus F plus A to the power of E. You want to calculate the postfix for this. Now, everyone, if I tell you and give you 2 minutes, which I would not give you, you will, most of you will get wrong answers. The reason being, you don't know, you don't know about how the compiler is going to read it from left to right. Would the compiler think that, okay, this BC star is like this, or this is like B into C by D? Because both star and divide have equal precedence. You could also say that, okay, I'll just start reading from left to right like the compiler does, and then do B star C, and it is divided by D. Then also you will get the wrong answer. Right. So, which is why for complicated problems, we use an algorithm, the actual algorithm that we in fact use in coding. Right. So, what I'm going to do here is I'll show that algorithm to all of you. In the meantime, I'll just read a few comments. Where are these? Okay. So, I'll just show that algorithm. Where is this algorithm? This algorithm is here on this page. I hope that all of you can see the screen, the left side part of it also. Okay, so essentially this is the algorithm and this is the solution. I'm going to teach you the algorithm. Obviously, this is very, as you can see, this is very difficult and very large algorithm. But I am also going to teach you how you don't need to mug up this algorithm. Automatically, your brain will be telling what to do and what not to do. Right? So let us first read the algorithm just read the algorithm, and then we'll do all the solving of the expression, right? So first the algorithm says that we first start scanning the expression from left to right. Okay, a plus b into c, I will read left to right, no problem, right? If the if scanned is an operand, now which is why I told you what is operand is a b c d e f a e, right? Then print it is like printf. We probably will be using printf in the code, and here we'll just use putting in the output stack, right? Else, if the precedence of the scanned operator is higher than the precedence of the operator in the stack, right, then then push the operator into the stack. Okay, some statement. Some they are talking about that, okay, if it is plus, minus, multiply, then maybe read this line. Forget about it. Okay. Then say else. If not, then pop all the operators. Something they are saying, okay, let's not read it, let's forget it. Okay. Then they are saying, okay, if it is bracket, open parenthesis, then push into the stack. Okay. If they are saying that, okay, if it's in close parenthesis, then pop in the stack and output until the one bracket. Okay, some statement. Forget. Then they are saying repeat step 2 to 6. Forget it. Then print output, do pop until stack is empty. Okay. So I just read it quickly. I do not care. I do not give a jack shit about whatever is written in this algorithm. Let me start with the expression only and let me learn by practice. Okay. So the first thing that I want to do here is, just give me 1 second. Where is my pen? So the first thing that I want to do here is I want to scan my operator from left to right. Okay. First thing that I see is A. Okay. The scanned is symbol is A. So okay, if it is an operand, then do what? If the scanned is an operand, output it. Okay. So I have put it in the output. So okay, my compiler will do printf statement somewhere. Output A is printed. Okay, no problem. Then again the next one is plus. So plus is there. Okay. So if the scanned is an operand, right? No, it is operator, right? So I'll go to else statement. If the precedence of the scanned operator is higher than the precedence of the operator in the stack, what is in the stack? The stack is empty as of now. Okay. Or the stack is empty. Then push the operator into the stack. It will seem complicated to you as of now, but once we will, I promise you at the end of this step, this last step, you will not need to mug this up. I promise you. Just wait. Okay. So they are saying, okay, if the stack is empty and if it is an operand, then push into the stack. Okay, so plus is there, so I have pushed into the stack because it is not an operand and the stack is empty. Okay, no problem. Then next line is I have B. What is B? My B is an operand. So what do I do? Print it. Okay. So A was printed earlier, so AB. Right. Now the next thing that I want to do here is I have this multiply operator. Okay. So then I go to obviously this else statement. If the precedence of the scanned operator is higher than the precedence of the operator in the stack, right? So in this case, what happens essentially is the precedence of multiply, what is in the stack? Currently in the stack, earlier there was plus. So the precedence of multiply is greater than plus. Yes, this is true, right? So this condition is true. Then what it is saying? Then push the operator into the stack. So as you can see, plus and multiply. So as you can see, the green line I'm signifying as the step that is new step. And also you can see step 3.1 is written here. So this is 3.1. Okay. Now, then again, we have C. So obviously you would remember if you have C, then directly print it. So ABC. Then you have backslash. Then you have not backslash, you have divide. Right. So now, okay. So if the, obviously you will come to this else. If the precedence of the scanned operator is higher than the precedence of the operator in the stack. No, it is not true. Why? You have divide. The precedence of divide is greater than multiply. No, it is equal. It is equal. So 3.1 is not valid. I'll go to 3.1. Else, pop all the operators that have greater or equal precedence than this scanned operator. So they're saying, okay, pop all the operator. So what it is saying that, okay, pop all the operators that have greater or equal, right? What is the only operator that has equal or greater, that is equal, is this star. So I pop this star. So ABC star is coming here, right? Then what it is saying, once you pop this, then push this scanned operator. Okay, so once I pop this, then I will push this divide into the stack. No problem. Next line, I have D, so I will output it. No problem. Easy. So whenever now one thing that I have mucked up in my mind is if I say A B C D E F G or 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? I will output it. No problem. Right. Now next thing is I have minus. Right. Now again I remember that minus, does minus have greater precedence than this divide? No. So what will happen? This statement will not be true. We will go to this statement. It is saying pop all the operators that have greater or equal precedence than the scanned operator. Perfect. So for in comparison to minus sign, what have greater and greater or equal? Both of them. Obviously divide has greater precedence, plus has equal precedence, so pop both of them. So first we will pop this divide, so which is why divide came earlier, and then we will pop this plus, right? And then finally they're saying push into the stack, the scanned operator. So we have pushed minus, right? Then again F, so F we are like directly printing it. Now we have plus, same thing we are doing with plus. Plus does not have greater precedence than minus, it has equal. So going to else, right? If we go to else, then we have, we'll output this, we'll pop minus from here, minus will come here, and then we'll push plus, right? Then A is there, nothing, just print A. Then power is there. Now power has the highest precedence, right? Even more than divide or multiply, right? So power, does power have higher precedence than the operator in the stack? Then push. Okay, so we push it here. Now one thing that I have judged from here is always and always my top of the stack should be an operator with higher precedence. It could not be like that I have minus and backs and divide below it. it cannot be possible. The topmost should be, the topmost precedence should be higher than top minus one, at least. So if you can just remember this. Okay. So now we have E, right? So we'll print it, right? Then empty. Obviously, E was the last thing. So now empty. Now they are saying print the output, do the pop until the stack is not empty. When once you don't have anything to do, so obviously we'll pop this power first. So this power came here. We pop this plus afterwards. So this plus came here, right? So now, perfect. Now, if I want to do it quickly, very, very quickly, how I would do in exam is I see A output, I see plus, nothing in the stack A. I see B output, I see multiply, multiply has higher precedence than this output for the top of the stack. Multiply can stay because highest precedence, so put it into the stack, right? Let me, in fact, even not see this. Okay, I'm not seeing this, just letting you know. Okay. Now I have C, so output. Then I have divide. Now divide and multiply, both of them have same precedence, so can't do anything about it. So obviously I have to pop from the stack until unless I see a lesser precedence. So pop this multiply, so coming here, then D output, then minus. Now obviously minus has lower least precedence, right? Below it we have divide and plus. Obviously both of them pop, 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 pop coming here. Then I have F, so this. Then I have plus. So obviously plus and minus is there, right? Obviously both of them have equal precedence, so pop this and push into the stack plus. So obviously uh, pop this, push into the stack plus. Then I have A, then I have this. Obviously it can stay because this has higher precedence than what is in the stack is plus, so can stay. Then I have E, so push. Then I have nothing, so obviously I'll pop this, then I'll pop this, empty. It'll take me 30 seconds. Honestly. Honestly, it'll take me 30 seconds. And this is our postfix. This is our postfix operator. Done. How do you calculate prefix? You do the same thing. How do you calculate prefix? Is, in fact, let me go to our website very, very quickly. So let's say this is our string. A by B plus C and this. So the step one is reverse the infix string. So once I reverse this, so bracket, so bracket here, then F into E, so F into E here, then so on so forth. So you are writing it oppositely, right? So once you write this oppositely, so as you can see, these brackets are outside, right? This is looking like this is looking like this F into E and this, right? It should not be like this. So we'll change these. We'll change these into this into this, right? So first step when you want to calculate prefix is whatever infix statement is there, reverse it, then interchange the right and left parentheses like this. Then you calculate the postfix of this particular thing that you've gotten after reversing and interchanging the thing. How do you calculate it? You calculate it using the same steps that I've used here. Then finally, you would get some value, like you will get postfix operator like this, right? Postfix out. Now finally reverse this also. So once you reverse this, obviously minus plus divide A. So minus plus divide A. So reverse this. Basic, very, very basic here. Okay, so this is essentially how postfix operators work, right? So now, essentially, this is what I wanted to teach to you today. If you have any questions, I would love to answer all of them. So you can shoot any question about anything, right? If you have about co-cubes, if you have about AMCAT, if you have about DSA, if you have about anything else, you can ask it to me. Don't worry about it, right? Now, uh, one good thing that I would like to announce here is I wanted to take like an introduction lesson today for our data structures. Today we are announcing a data structures and algorithm course for placements launched. The price for it is 69999. However, today for our loyal users only, okay, जैसे you've seen Mirzapur, loyal है हम आपके sort of thing. So for all of those users, we are giving it for I'm sorry, I need water. We are giving it for 1299 rupees only today. We will increase the price to 1999 tomorrow, and on Monday we will increase it to 6999. Also, just for our people who are our loyal users, who are our subscribers on YouTube, along with this course, you pay only 1299 and you get our C and C++ course that was launched 1 week before, free of cost. So in 1299, you get DSA, and DSA would be in C and C++, right? So both of these languages will be provided in terms of teaching. However, codes will be provided for Java also and Python also. So maybe you can learn the logic and then check Java, Python also, right? Price will increase 1159 Sunday to 6999, and 1159 tonight to from 1299 to 1999. Right. So now the image looks very ugly. So these are self-paced videos. If you want to watch it at 4 p.m., if you want to watch it at 12 a.m., whenever you want to watch it, you can watch it. The problem is we did a few videos live and then we realized that for people who learn very quickly, they waste a lot of time because then we have to solve everyone's doubt, right? So if you don't understand it, we have a weekly doubt session also. We have a WhatsApp group where you can resolve all of your queries. Or if you think that you can solve it on your own, you can just, play back the video. And video solutions in video theories are there. Codes are also there in all the 4 languages, that is C, C++, Java and Python, right? So 1299 C, C++ course and DSA course. The link of this is given in the description of this video. So make sure that you check that. Apart from that, so how many hours? 20 hours of C, which is free, right? And so this free thing will also go away this Sunday. Sunday 11:59 is the last day for this free. After that, 6999 only DSA you will get. As of now, for today, 1299 you are getting C, C++ and DSA. Tomorrow you will get C, C++ and DSA, but for 1999, right? 25 hours of C++, 30 plus hours of DSA. One good thing that I want to talk here is that, so first of all, let me talk about Royal Pass. So either you can buy this, or you can go ahead with something that we call as Royal Pass. So Royal Pass is basically, we wanted to launch a course that is, you buy one course and then whole placement season, you don't have to buy anything. And the validity of this course is 1 year. But if you don't get placed after 1 year also, we can extend it for 6 months if you email us, no problem, right? So in this, you get 30 plus company specific online classes. Each of the company have 50 plus hours of content. Companies like TCS, Wipro, Deloitte, Infosys, etc. Videos are there, mocks are there for each company. All the previous year papers are there. Also, I tell you, a lot of fake websites are there which say that previous year papers are there, but they upload NCRT questions. Only Prepinsta is partnered with most of the companies, so which is why we get previous year papers and then all of these things. You also get AMCAT course, CoCubes course, eLitmus course, TCS IM course, complete aptitude course also you get, interview preparation course, resume making course, mock interviews too you get along with the course. C, C++, DSA courses included. Python, competitive coding, DVMS is going to be added this month. And I think the cost of this is 4444 as of now, till this Sunday. Then we'll increase it to 9999. Okay. Then, what if one of the people is saying, what if you already bought any Prepinsta code? Let's say you bought a TCS course for 1999, right? Talk to us. Depending upon the money that you paid, call us. The number we've provided in the description of the video. And if let's say you after all the calculation, you need to pay 21.99, right? Totally, including all of these. So we'll subtract 1999 from 21.99. So you pay us 1999 rupees more, right? 200 rupees more, right? And then you get the DSA course or Royal Pass or whatever is the difference amount on today's price, you can upgrade it. If you bought Royal Pass already, then you can reach out to us. We will provide you the access via email ID support@prepensta, right? Then most important thing is, even if you want to stay with Prepensta and just get off-campus updates, make sure that you join all the WhatsApp, Telegram, all of this. Join all four because we are a little greedy. Sometimes to increase our followers on Instagram, we say that okay, let's say TCS is hiring, the link is available on Instagram. We will not post it on Telegram, right? For example, like that. Sometimes we have a company, like let's say we have a company called as Mount Blue, and that company told we only want 500 people. So we only posted on our Instagram for 2021 and didn't even inform here. Depending upon the number of companies, these companies did not want more than these many applicants, right? So make sure that you join all of them, right? So to get off-campus updates, right? Make sure that you also subscribe to our YouTube channel because next week, the plan for next week is DSA. I've already taken one video on resume building, right? In fact, if I'm to show you resume to you, your resume should look something like, in fact, this is my resume. I could just show you. It'll open now. You can pause the video if you want. I'll just scroll a little. This was my resume. Earlier, I used to work in this particular company, Google Pay, and we launched Google Pay as TruePay first. Then it got renamed as GPay and all of that. And so you can pause it and then check it if you would like, all of that thing. This is one of the resume for one of our student of Placement Cell. Placement Cell is also something I'll tell you after it. Right, so your resume should look like this. If it doesn't look like this, probably it'll leave a bad impression. Then we have a interview preparation masterclass on YouTube. Then we have pointers and pointers for DSA masterclass on YouTube, competitive programming, company specific masterclasses. So, we'll not do it every day, but probably you can expect, once in 4 days or 3 days or something like that. Obviously, we want you to join our courses also, right? So, which is why. Right, so make sure that you do subscribe to our YouTube channel, else you'll miss all of that. In fact, we also post some of the off-campus rides on YouTube, right? Uh, one last thing is, I wanted to, this was an internal thing. I wanted to congratulate Adil, Abhishek, Raghav, Aman, all of these people who are working very hard with something that is called as Prepensta Placement Cell. I don't want to promote this here. I just want to congratulate them. We had over 200 student plays in the last batch. 95% student got plays. This was the highest package. This was the average thing. These are a few companies. So congratulations. Just in this video, wherein a lot of people are asking, Adil, Abhishek, Aman, and Raghav, good job to all of you. A lot of people have gotten their first jobs because of you, because of the companies partnered with Prepensta. Right. So I am open to questions now. Yeah. Little greedy. Yes. Okay. So one person is asking. One person is asking about CoCubes, right? So CoCubes has now allowed CoCubes. CoCube disallowed 2019 people. So 2019 people cannot give CoCubes exams as of now. No. 2021 people can give CoCubes exam as of now. We always say CoCubes is much better than AMCAT, TCS Ion, or eLitmus for getting jobs in these times. There is some coupon code also. Maybe one of our team can put it in the chat so that you have to spend less money. Maybe put that in the description of the video also. It will be valid for about 1 year. Right. So whatever questions that you have, all the links for Royal Passes description is given in the video. Right. So if you have any question, guys, please ask away. I'm open for Q&A. If you have something related to when will TCS hire or when all of these things will happen, etc., 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 please ask away your doubts. I'm ready to answer any of the doubt that you may have. Is companies hiring via lockdown? Yes, they are not conducting their off-campus drives, but they are hiring via e-litmus, TCS Ion, and CoCubes mostly. So make sure that you give all of those exams. I will ask my team to send you the coupon code for each of them in the chat. Sir, do guys focus more upon service-based companies while training in Royal Pasca course? Yes. Uh, yes, we do that. AMCAT, I personally, I just don't like AMCAT. The reason being, I personally feel they are a little greedy for money. First, they ask you that, okay, give AMCAT, the cost is 900 rupees or 1000 rupees. And then they tell you that, okay, sales job only you will be valid. You can't apply for Deloitte or Wipro or Cognizant. Then you have to pay for AMCAT premium. And, you know, Wipro and Cognizant are very hardly impacted by this coronavirus thing. So, which is why these are not hiring in that amount. So, which is why I would personally say that, okay, as of now, CoCubes would be the best exam for you to get, and TCS and CCQT. Right. Yes. Okay. The link to buy this session is given in the description of the video. Right. So you can join that from there. Which companies hire through CoCubes? Let's see. In fact, one of the pages should be on Preference companies hiring via CoCubes. Right. So as far as I remember, Microsoft hires via CoCubes. So you have Flipkart, Adobe, Mu Sigma, Amazon, Motorola Mobility, 23 LPA, 21 LPA, 17 LPA, 11 LPA, Adobe, Samsung, Jaro, ExxonMobil, Lido, HSBC. So even Sprinkler. So some triple E companies are also there. Schneider Electric, Philips Innovation, Comcast, EC companies are there. All right. So these are like higher package, and then probably, as you can see, the list is very long. I'm just scrolling. So I think good companies hire via CoCubes. Right. So many companies. This page will never end. Okay. Um, Final price would be 12.99. Guys, I don't want to talk about pricing more. I've talked enough. If you have any questions related to placements, if you have any questions related to TCS, all of those, right? So you can ask that away. How to prepare? So even if if you just want to prepare on your own without video lectures, which is something that I'll not suggest, you can go to Prepinsta data structures page. You can go to Prepinsta, and then in the CSE tab, you would have data structures, DBMS, C++, all of those, right? So you'll come to this page, and here you will find all of those things, right? So just like I was showing you earlier, so you can visit any of the pages of your choice. So let's say as of now, let's say I want to study data structures, circular queues in data structures, right? You go to that particular page, and then you study whatever you want to, right? So let's say, right, so all the codes, all the underflow, overflow condition, everything is given on this page. So you can also prepare from here if you think. However, video lectures would be much more important, right? Better. Right. I know Java, but not C. C++ course is also included in the same lecture. So you can learn C, C++ first and then go ahead with data structures. 2018 pass outs, I'm sorry if you're Kruti Jaswal, there is no easy way of telling this. You can give CoCubes, eLitmus, ANCAT, etc. You will only get sales job, but no MNCs would be hiring, IT companies would be hiring for it. You should learn C first and then data structures to sharp. Nice memes. Thank you. Right. In fact, most of the pages have these memes. Talk about CoCube section. How many questions should one solve to get a marks around 600? Check on the Preferencer website. I have a little idea, but yes, at least 600 are the marks that you should get to get offer letters. If you score more than 700, then companies paying more than 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs will call you for interview. If you score less than 600, you don't get enough opportunities, which is why we always tell that people want to waste a lot of money, right? They directly give CoCube without any preparation. So prepare for at least 2 months. CoCubes, you will get whole, if you are from CS background, you have to study whole CS. If you are from EEE background, you will have to study whole EEE or whatever, right? So at least 2 months is required and then give CoCube. Elite batch with Chirag, Elite was something that we launched. The registration for that is closed. Placement cell, so you can't apply for Elite as of now. Placement cell is something that you can check on Google and you may apply if you want to. However, we are very selective for placement cell. If there are 100 people applying, we only select 10. Which language should I learn to make in order to make a website? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery at first, and then you could learn advanced languages. Also, it is very important to get certifications in these days. So I will recommend go to a good websites and get certifications. TCS gives 5 marks for certifications in their interview. Right. So maybe somewhere I would have this Capgemini. Right. So we have this for Capgemini. Maybe if you can see this. So this is like your interview brochure looks like. So whenever the interviewer is taking your interview, he gets a sheet like this. So this is for Capgemini and grade recommended for like TCS Digital, TCS Innovator, TCS Smart and all of that. Then you get rated out of 5. 1 is poor, 2 is below average, 3rd is average, 4 is good, 5 is outstanding. Then they give you 5 marks for subject knowledge, which have all these points like subject understanding, confidence, fluency, articulation skills. So, in your interview preparation course, we have this for each and every company. We focus upon these points. So TCS has something else. So which is why I was telling you, TCS gives 5 marks more if you have a certification, which is why then there is HR, all of that, right? So probably you can take a screenshot of this if you want to, so that you can remember. Yeah, eLitmus is good for higher packets like 7 to 10 LPA. I am confused. Should I do DSA in Java or C++? I will say it depends completely upon you. Completely upon you. Right. So guys, I hope that this session was really helpful for you, and you got to learn a lot of good things for DSA. I will tell my team to accommodate more such lessons. We have where do we have? We have all of these sessions coming up on YouTube just frequently, so make sure that you do subscribe. The links for all of these courses like data structures course and royal passes and upgradation phone number, if you already have purchased, is already given. I'll not like to do very much promotion. Shithil, I recommend if you don't have any preference, then do it in C. Elite is closed now. If you don't have any preference, then do in C and learn Python. But Python is not for coding. Python is for application. So if you want to do machine learning, artificial intelligence, NumPy, and all of those, then do Python. However, because Python one problem is every time from the last 2 years it is happening, people code in Python and their test cases do not pass in TCS exam because somehow Python does not work properly in their compiler, right? So which is why this is one of the reasons why we also say that do it and see. I'll just genuinely recommend. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Still 350 people are watching. Right. I have to go now. Even my voice is sore. Uh, you can contact our team via Instagram. We always respond to our Instagram messages if you have any doubt. Make sure that you follow us on our Telegram, Instagram, or wherever. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that this was really, really helpful for you. Which ideal time is in the terms of education to take DSA course? Ideal time is right now. Placements are going to start next month. You should start your preparation right now. Stop playing PUBG, Sumit. Chirag, just Google it on, just type Referenza Placement Cell, you will get it. I don't want to talk about Placement Cell. That's a very discrete course. Since you're saying it in chat, which is why I'm just answering it. Right, Royal Pass, data structures, hurry up. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching this session. I will be definitely be seeing you soon on our YouTube. Product-based companies are also, with this data structures course, for the top performers, we'll also be referring you to a lot of companies as well. Right. So thank you guys for watching this video. I will be seeing you in the next one. Thank you.